Good morning. Peace and blessings. Happy Tuesday. I am the Moon Mama, and today is the day that Mars governs. And Mars is currently at the fourth degree of Aries. Okay, so Mars is the planet that rules our bodies. But it's an energy that is a very hot energy. It's fire, right? So Mars is fire. Mars rules Aries. Mars also is the traditional ruler of Scorpio. And so Mars energy it's a highly creative energy, right? But how does that show up in our experience? How does the creative energy show up in your experience? So with Mars, it would show up as attraction. It would show up as sexual desire. It would show up as anger and rage. It would show up as new ideas. And here's the thing, that since Mars went into Aries, we have had, that I know of, like 3 shootings, 3 like massacre type events, right? But all of that is Mars and Aries. And because we are living at a time in the world where we don't understand energy the way we understand, language or ABCs or things like that. What happens is Mars goes into Aries and we are not ready for it the way we would be like this, right? We know when summer is coming. And we know that when summer is coming, we're going to wear cooler clothes. If we understood that when Mars went into Aries, it's going to be like an emotional kind of summer, we would have a understanding of how to be with the energy. But because we do not, and it occurs in people, and then we assign a story to it, it turns into violence. It turns into rage. Because there's just an ignorance around what's going on within us, that we are in a relationship with these planetary energies that live within us and externally. And when I watch, I tend to watch enough of like Marvel movies or, superhero movies. And one of the things that those movies help me really see is that we're at the effect of the planets. Just like we're at the effect of the weather or the temperature or the environment, we're at the effect of the planets. And that's an invisible energy that you cannot see, but it is more powerful than what you can see. So, like I said, since Mars got into Aries, we have had 3 violent things happen in our country because we're uninformed about how these energies work. And Mars, like I said, it's our embodiment. So with Mars at the 4th degree of Aries, the other thing about this universe is that there are so many perspectives to one particular thing. So Mars at the 4th degree of Aries is the degree of beauty. Now, the thing that's tough about being a human being is being able to see a different perspective from every experience, right? Can you find the beauty in the fucking darkness? And when you can, you win. But when you can't, you get stuck. And the universe gives us countless opportunities to see things, the value of things, to reframe things, to understand that it's not flat. It's not stagnant. This is an evolutionary experience. And so, because of that, when we're only willing to be attached to a very small purview, we fucking suffer. So, but it's not the easiest thing to do because the energy and these feelings consume you. And if you've not had practice with learning how to alchemize, you will be reactive. You will act before you can bring thought and consciousness to a thing. So for instance, I remember when I first really started doing my spiritual work, when I started like going to school and studying and things like that. I was in a classroom and there was about 300 people in this class. There were probably 12 black people or 6. Most of the environments that I was in my early studies, hardly any black people in these environments. And there was a conversation in the class about Hitler and how Hitler, how could we see this experience? And like I said, most of the people in the class were white. So they didn't even have the lens of what a black person in America today could understand. But they were basically having a conversation about like Hitler only being evil. And the teachers kind of took us on a journey to see if we could just see what are some of the lessons that we could learn from that experience other than just it's evil or it's bad or it's just death. Like what are some of the things that come out of it? Because if we have had really very difficult experiences, if you can recall your most challenging experiences, if you tell yourself the truth about it, you'll know that it was challenging, but you discovered something else about yourself. You discovered your will, your resilience. You discovered your creative power that could find new ways to make something out of nothing. You discovered, your wisdom came forward. Your fear forced you into a new way of it. Like all of this ability to transmute something from one simple way of seeing it into another way of experiencing it is the gift of tragedy or trauma or pain or suffering if you're willing to be devoted enough to your transformation that you are capable or interested in seeing something at a different perspective. So in this class, they were asking us, could we have a philosophical conversation about somebody like Hitler from the perspective of what was the value? What was the value that came out of an experience like Hitler? And like I said, it was 6 people who were black in a room of 300 white people. So as a black person, it took me into asking, how can I make this American experience be something that's really valuable for me? Not just, white people are bad, the system is evil. Those things are true, but if I only focus on those things, I won't receive the benefit that could become available if I'm willing, if I'm curious, if I'm open to experiencing the whole spectrum of the universe, because the universe gives us many different perspectives of one solitary thing. It's like, do you remember that movie, The Fly, where the guy turned into a fly because he actually went into the machine and a fly was in there? And then when his eyes changed, you saw that he could see things with all of these lenses. Like he could see all of these perspectives, right? And when we are willing to see things beyond the one way we've been conditioned to see them, this is alchemy. This is power. This is transformation. This is the ability to find beauty in the most horrific experiences and the most challenging difficulties and the most undesirable suffering. If you are willing to believe that the universe can offer you another perspective, then it will. And here is how I have allowed myself to do this. There's something called quantum physics. And in quantum physics, they say, It's there because you see it there. It wasn't there until you saw it there. So if you're looking at a tragedy and you say that is beauty, your consciousness will transform it into beauty, and something of beauty will come out of it for you. But you have to be willing to use the quantum mind and say, this is beauty. This is, no matter what it looks like, you have to have the courage to use your power to alchemize it into exactly what it is. And if you understand that within the universe, everything has everything in it to a varying degree. Nothing is without anything to a varying degree. So whatever the spectrum is, if the spectrum is, from 1 to 1,000, 1,000 has a little bit of 1 in it, and 1 has a tiny bit of 1,000 in it, and everything in between. But if you are willing to focus, if you want to see some of 99, you have to say, I'm focusing on 90. I know it's in there. I can't see it, but because I know the universe has everything in it, even though it's a varying degree, if I'm willing to see the 0.1% of beauty, it will have to show itself. It cannot deny you what you request. It cannot. It's not possible. And this is our power to transmute. And if we understand the world that we live in, and if we want to see a world that is filled with creativity and beauty and power, you can't wait on fucking anybody else to do it. You have to do it. You have to perceive it. And in your perception of it, it will be realized, and you will be the experiencer of that. And then your energetic will expand, and you will create the space for others to be able to be the experiencer of it. But it cannot be there unless you call it forth. Epiphany of Divinity. Acknowledging how gratuitous humans are when it comes to pain. Yes, it's all energy, happy or sad. Let me tell you something, Epiphany of Divinity. So the reason I'm having this conversation this morning is because we just had the Gemini full moon. And Gemini is all about duplicity. It's all, and Gemini rules the mind, our thinking, right? And so one of the things that is important for us to understand, and this reality is no motherfucking joke. It's amazing. But it's very subtle. Most of the energy, most of the powers are subtle. They're not, hold on one second. I'm sorry, y'all. All right, trying to get some tea. Most of the powers, the energies are subtle. So when we're in the mundane world, it's very easy to skip over things that you're feeling and call them nothing, but they are so significant. And so as we're in this Gemini new moon, Gemini is very duplicitous. It's very light and dark, high and low, yin and yang, femme and mass, white and black, shadow and light. And one of the things that I have noticed, because I grew up in such a very challenging environment, is that I will have sensations in my body that tell me I'm under threat because of the way I was raised as a child. But my brain doesn't align. My thoughts don't align. No. So because I grew up in violence and I had to learn to ignore it, sometimes things feel bad, but I cannot register it as what it feels like. And it does something in my body. And because we are masculine and feminine, and we are always we're always switching from masculine and feminine constantly, right? When you drink water, that is a feminine thing to do. You're taking something in. When you urinate, that's a masculine thing to do. You're releasing it. But there is something that goes in your body that is a valve that allows you to take it in. And then another valve in your body shifts that allows you to release it. This is happening on every energetic level. You take in a thought, you receive it, and then it's just a thought. But then the body does something, the consciousness does something to it that allows it to digest and become a part of you, that thought, that energy. And then that becomes a way of your being. And then you start to express it. You take in the food. The food goes into your body. You digest it. That is feminine. Then it goes through your system, and then it switches, and then you release it. We are in a constant state of this. And for me, and it's sort of a left brain, right brain thing. Left brain, right brain thing. This is happening with our emotions. This is happening with our thoughts. This is happening with our sensory body. This is happening. And sometimes, depending on how we were nurtured, it can get twisted. And so you see people who, don't respond this way to this because they're nurtured, the way they were nurtured in their childhood, it was off, right? Because so I always look at white people and I'm like, how come these motherfuckers don't feel pain when other motherfuckers are suffering? How is that possible? Because the channels in their brains aren't registering. They register a different alignment. Am I making sense? Am I making sense? So as this Gemini new moon has come in, I have a Gemini moon, and I'm beginning to see the places, because the duality in Gemini, I'm beginning to see the places in myself. Like I think something, but then I feel something else. And the thought and the feeling are misaligned. They don't fucking go together. And I'm like, this is why I do this work. Because guess what? This is the kind of thing where we have a thought in it. And if you are not conscious and aware, I've been feeling this thing all my life, but I've never been able to fully identify it. And for the last couple of weeks, it's been getting closer and closer. And I've been like, okay. And what happens, it's almost like my body will short circuit. Like I can't hold too much pleasure. It'll short circuit. I can't hold too much pain. It'll short circuit because the frequencies are not aligned. And now with the Gemini new moon, I see that it's something happening in my brain where my emotions and my mind. So I have been like just sort of short and catching myself in the act as I'm reading my astrology and doing the rituals. All I know is that the universe is so benevolent. We can heal anything. This is something when I was young, when I would feel this, I would feel like I needed to die. I would feel like I wanted to commit suicide because it was so unbearable emotionally. Like I couldn't, my channels weren't wide enough to run the emotion I was needing to run. So it would make me depressed and I would feel like I needed to die. That is something that I have inherited from a mother and a grandmother and literally short-circuiting your energy. And so this is the work that I do to help us heal ourselves, to help us understand what's going on within us, understand where we come from, the people that we were born with, what the patterns were, how they're showing up in our own life, and then transmuting them through rituals. And not depression medication, not the Western stuff, right? But through rituals and crystals and self-love and observation. And here's the thing. When you do it this way, you've really done it. The medications just mask it. I could have gone to the doctor and been like, I don't feel good. I feel stuck. They would have given me here's some Brutrol or some Ivory, right? And anybody who does it, I'm saying we have been taught to do that. And it's okay. I'm not saying this to judge anyone. That's not why I'm saying it. Because it's just been the grace of God and my curiosity that has allowed me to be diligent, to dig, because I came from so much suffering. That's why I dig, because I came from so much suffering, and I realized, oh, that doesn't work. This person taking, that doesn't work. So I was like, well, what will work? That's why I can have this conversation, because I've been a scientist in the lab doing the investigations, right? So they give us medication over this stuff, but it doesn't go away. And really, it's an opportunity to learn how to rechannel the energy, because it's a power. It's a gift. And when you medicate it, it never can fully develop. You have to go in there and go, what is that? What, like I said, oh, I'm having one feeling and a completely different thought. That is insanity. One thought and one, that's mental illness. That's what it is. That's what everybody's depressed about. They're having a thought and a feeling and they're not. And so when we can begin to, catch ourselves in the act and, the universe is supporting us in healing. The universe really wants to help us heal. It's always giving us it's always saying, here, let me help you here. What do you need here? And it gives us it gives us flowers and birds and all of that to help us get in the details of what's going on inside of us, because it's a reflection of us. And we've come here to transmute these energies. This is what we came here to do. So when we go and do this Western stuff, it just delays it. It just keeps it at bay. So you don't really do the work of the soul, what you're here to do. You're just keeping it up. You're just delaying it, not doing the work of the soul. And then you leave this planet having not done fucking anything that you came here to do. Maybe you had 6 kids, and maybe you got married 10 times, and maybe you made $50 million, but you didn't do the work of your soul. So you got, and that's fine. That's fine. No judgment, but you got to come back again. You got to come back. So Mars in Aries is new beginnings. We are really at a new pathway, a new road, a new reality. We really are taking on a new way of being. And here's what we're doing. We're clearing out our old ways of being, our old ways of functioning, codependence, giving our power to external things, believing that somebody's going to come and save us. We're clearing all those ways out, however they show up in your life, and then reloading a new way of being, downloading, reconditioning ourselves with a new mindset and becoming new. We're literally becoming new human beings. All this conversation about like AI and all that sort of stuff, this is our birthright to transform. If we do the work to transform, if we do it ourselves, that's all I can say is if we do it ourselves. If we do it ourselves, we don't need all these other external things. All right. Okay, so I want to read the comments. So I'm about to go. And I'm not going to say anything else, but I want to read the comments before I go. Because when I save this, the comments go away. And then I miss it. Okay. Oh, shoots. Yes, learning hardship is a gift of the game changers. Okay, great. Perspective and understanding. Right. Phoenix. Acknowledging how gratuitous. Yes. Listening to the book called Mother Hunger that talks a lot about our relationship to our mother and how it affects our nervous systems as we grow and move. That's right. It's everything. I'm telling you, the relationship with the mother is everything. And nobody, and we're taught to completely we're taught to act like it just is like any other relationship. Such a weird thing that we do with motherhood. I find it to be really disconcerting. Like, wow, like this person grew you in their body. They have all the answers for what ails you. And we don't share the wisdom. We don't ritualize the relationships. I talk to so many people who are like, they're not fucking with their mothers. And I get it. I'm not saying that I don't understand it. I get it. But the power that is in that relationship, even if you never talk to your mother again, you have to heal your relationship to how you were mothered. Because that's the key. That is the key. There is no other key but that one. And that's what this Saturn in retrograde class is going to be. We're going to do the first segment of the class. We're going to do healing our relationship with our mother. Healing our relationship with the way we were mothered, not our mother. Healing our relationship with the way that we were mothered. Because if we can't heal the relationship with the way that we were mothered, we can't open up the portals into ourselves, because that's how you get there, through your maternal understanding of yourself. And then the next leg is going to be healing the way we were our relationship, how we would relate to our father. So one leg is going to be the mother, the next leg is going to be the father, and then the third leg is then who are we out of that? Because it's about Saturn. Saturn is karma, so we have to look at both of our karmic dynamics, the mother and the father, and then how did that put us together, and then how are you now functioning, and then what is your plan going forward? And this is how we heal, break curses, heal trauma, and realign our karma. This system is karmic. We cannot get free from the karmic system, but we can get free from our karma to create new aligned karma. And that's what the Saturn retrograde class is going to be about. So you guys can register in my link tree for that. And if you want to register with payment plans, the class is $330. It goes from June 4th to October 23rd. Let me just say that at the level of work that we're going to do, it's the value of the class is far beyond any amount of money you're going to spend for it. That's what I want to say. And the reason I can say that is because I do the work. So that when I create a course, it's because I have done the work myself and I can support others through it. And I'm available for that. And because I love the process of healing and transformation, and I know that that's what we're here for right now, and I am devoted to that. So, all right, you all, peace and blessings. Yes, keep people busy. They don't feel. We have just been sent to our room for the last 2 years. They're in trouble now. We've been returning. Yes, we have. Absolutely. Okay, everyone. Yes, protective tools are absolutely very important. All right. Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay. Feeling more room to breathe in new ways, releasing outside with tobacco. Very grateful. And I work with my mom. Oh, that's beautiful. Healing our relationship with the way we were mothered. Yes. Transmuting our entire families sometime. Yes, absolutely. God bless everyone here. Yes, God bless everyone here. I listen to your natal chart reading weekly and learn something new each time. Oh, that makes me so happy. Let me tell you, I read my natal chart, and I've been reading my natal chart for years, and I read it, and I learn something new. It's profound. All right, peace and blessings. I'll talk to you guys again tomorrow. Bye-bye.